Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about my history research presentation on Odoacer. Okay, so to first talk about Odoacer, let's talk about his early life. So not much is known about his early life. A lot of it is debated by historians. We do know some things. We know that he was an Aryan, and we also somewhat know about his father, Edico the Hun. To get more in on Edico the Hun, Edico was a king of the Germanic Siri tribe, and he was also an advisor to Attila. Attila was killed, and this led to um, Odoacer to become a soldier. And he started off as a soldier for his father, and then eventually transitioned into being a soldier of the Roman army in Italy. Um, so Odoacer, he one of the first mentions of his existence actually. Um, so as a Roman soldier, he fought the Visigoths in 463 AD, and actually part of this story was that he visited a saint, and the saint gave him prophetic words. And these words were, "Go on to Italy, though now covered in mean hides, soon you will make rich gifts to many." Um, So more as a doer as a soldier. He actually um he um he was a soldier under Julius Nepos. And Julius Nepos had just been appointed Emperor of the West by the Eastern Emperor Leo the First. And so then Julius Nepos he appointed a general named Orestes and arrested. He had been appointed general against the wishes of the Senate. And they actually didn't trust Orestes for many reasons, but also, I guess, one of the greater reasons was that Orestes actually fought against the Romans. So not many people trusted him. Um, and which would soon to be, a good intuition as Orestes, after he was elevated to power, uh, he led a march against Nepos and made him flee into exile, which then many people wanted Orestes to become emperor. However, he gave it to his son, Romulus Augustulus. Um, and um, but Romulus Augustulus didn't have a lot of backing or recognition um, beyond Italy. And so the Roman Senate pretty much said that he wasn't really fit to rule. And there's also another thing, Romulus Augustulus didn't really give land to the Roman soldiers of Italy that was promised to them. And so, backed by the Roman Senate and also backed by the soldiers in Italy, Odoacer became the ruler of Italy, or I guess at the time, the ruler of the Western Empire. Um, however, Odoacer didn't actually want to be an emperor and said to um, um, the now emperor of the Eastern Empire, Zeno, he told Zeno, said, "Hey, I think we can rule without having a Western emperor." And so, Odoacer became the king of, or as he called himself, the king of Italy. And so that ties us into his reign. He constantly labeled himself as the king of Italy. He didn't really say that he was an emperor, but he really liked being called the king of Italy. Um, Within his reign, he was known for having a great relationship with the army, gave them benefits, made sure to take care of them, gave them land and homes, um, and along with his relationship with the army, he didn't expand too much, but he did expand some. He acquired Sicily through a treaty with the Vandals, and he also, and tying back to Julius Nepos, Julius Nepos was assassinated, and Odoacer had a good relationship with Nepos, at least maintainable relationship, and so he went and sent people to go kill the people that assassinated Julius Nepos, and in doing so, um, he then took over the land of Dalmatia, which was the land of where the assassins were and where Julius Nepos was exiled to from earlier. Um, Part of Odoacer's reign is that he liked to keep the Roman ruling traditions. He didn't really stray away from those Roman traditions. He liked to keep the Roman culture alive. He really did rule like as if he was a Roman emperor. However, that's not how he described himself. Um, um, and so yeah. And now we're going to go into religion. So as I said earlier, Doacer was, or it, well, was Arian. Um, and um, the Roman religion at that time was uh, Trinitarianism. So this led to some conflict with Zeno because Zeno hated um, Arianism. He thought it was heresy and he thought everything about it was false and was mockery. So this led to some of the later life and death of Odoacer. So thing Odoacer and Zeno's relationship was tense because of religion. But then also what happened was the Rugian War, um, where Odoacer invaded the Danube Valley and he took over the Rugi and then took their king and queen and executed them, but spared their son, which was named um, Frederick. Um, So Frederick would then try to fight back against Odoacer and kept losing and would then eventually take refuge with Theodoric, which will be important later. So um, Zeno saw this Rugian War and pretty much tried to convince everyone that Odoacer was becoming a tyrant and they needed to remove Odoacer from power. So Um, a lot of backing came behind Zeno, and um, and Zeno was very threatened by Odoacer's growth and power, and so then Zeno looked for support, and he saw an opportunity with Theodoric of the Goths. Zeno also did not like Theodoric. He thought both Odoacer and Theodoric were pains in the butt. And so he made a treaty with Theodoric to go and pretty much take over Odoacer. And he thought in the end that no matter who came on top, whether it was Odoacer or Theodoric, he would eventually be able to take one of them down in their weakened state. And so then Theodoric would march on Odoacer, and Theodoric would fight many battles with his army. They were able to push Odoacer way back. And and eventually pushed them all the way back to the point where Odoacer and Theodoric, there was um, um, a um, a bishop actually tried to make a treaty for them, which they both agreed on in the fleeting days of the battles. And so they both agreed on them, and they decided to hold a fancy dinner to celebrate this treaty. And in the end, Theodoric would actually pretty much backstab Odoacer. He killed Odoacer, and some famous words Odoacer said was, "Where is God?" Those words I'll talk about later, but they are interpreted in many ways today. Um, but Theodoric killed him to get revenge on the people of the Rugi tribe, pretty much. And so now that he's dead, he left a lot of influence. And so we're going to talk about his influence. Um, Odoacer, during his time as a ruler, he was actually a pretty decent ruler for the most part, at the very least. He made sure that his country was secure during tough historical times. He took care of people during a famine. Obviously, I said he made sure to take care of the armies. And he really made sure that people were taken care of. Um, Another part of this was that the influence of the "Where's God" line. Many people are still debating it today and leaving it up to interpretation. But another huge thing about his influence was that Roman culture was preserved through Odoacer and was made alive through him and preserved it for the many fleeting years that it had left. So that is my presentation on Odoacer. Thank you. And this is my works cited page. Thank you.